Fastest Gamer, and I will be commentating the match today with Callie. Hello, Callie.
Hi. We got a good race today. I think, is this the last match within their pool?
No, these racers are both 1-0, I believe.
Okay, so whoever wins
Assuming the
this,
website is updated.
right, so whoever wins this is going to be guaranteed a spot in our top 16 eliminations, moving past the group stage. So yeah, we got a good race. Both runners are hoping to play their best, quickly secure that position, because otherwise they'll be down 1-1 in a terrible position, or not terrible, but very stressful position.
Yeah. You definitely want to win this match, just so you're not in win or go home mode.
Mm-hmm. And if both runners are ready, we're going to begin a countdown pretty soon. And our runners should be off any second now. But before the race even starts, just look at the bottom right corner of each of the runners' home screens. You'll see both of them are running on 1432. When we say latest patch, that actually refers to a plethora of patches, with the minimum being 1432 ranging all the way up to 1578. And there's some minor differences that we won't really touch too much into because both runners are running on 1432, which is the optimal patch.
Yes. Both of these runners are going to be taking very similar routes. They're both going to be going for Raptor Seal in City instead of taking the King Station Seal, and they will be both going through Queen's Gardens rather than through Deep Nest.
So essentially that just means both runners are opting to take the fastest but also more difficult route. That gives way to more mistakes, has more RNG built into it. And I think overall QGA saves about 20 seconds over the alternative, and then Raptor saves about 10 seconds over the alternative of doing King Station, depending on how the runners do their tricks. Masochist, do you know how they do Raptor skip?
I'm not incredibly familiar with it, but I believe it is pretty similar to True Ending Shade Skip in terms of execution. With
Or do you know if Aksel or Serpent do right side or left side?
I know Serpent goes for right side. I assume Aksel will also be going for right side.
Okay, sick. We get the swag strats.
Yeah, Serp with a 56 Kings pass, very impressive.
Very cool.
Aksel still getting a 58 with missing the softball setup, which is very, very good.
It's also worth noting that earlier you saw Serpent open her inventory as she hard fell, and then what that allows her to do is essentially cancel the hard fall animation, and she's gonna do it again. Well, she was attempting to do it again there.
Unfortunate Gruzzer from Serp. Gruzzers are one of the top 5 worst enemies in this game,
Really?
just in terms of speedrunning. Aksel missing the slash for double spike. We'll see if this take has much of an effect. Both of these runners very experienced, and early game mistakes tend to not add up to that much compared to late game mistakes. An Umu cycle is like 20 seconds, so losing 5 seconds in Crossroads is not much compared to that. But what it does do is it takes a toll on your mental state,
Yeah.
and mistakes can pile up very quickly.
Especially in a tournament setting where you just feel the pressure from everything multiplied.
Exactly.
Alright, so coming into this false knife fight, we want to see jumps only on the left side. We don't want to see any right side jumps. like that. Aksel's jump not bad, but overall both runners getting a pretty average fight. Nothing too bad, nothing too good though. Also, because Aksel missed the double spike when the aspect kill, he got a lot of geo. He's sitting at 22 compared to Serpent's 16, which is very nice. Both runners are running on 1-4-3-2, which means they can do a trick called Devout Skip, where they skip the first Devout, which requires you to be about 40 geo in surplus. So building up that surplus now means Aksel has a leniency of getting time save later in City of Tears, and then also for that Devout Skip.
That's correct. I believe Devout's dropped 43 geo.
Serpent's gonna get a 47, and Aksel's gonna have a 350, looks like. So only off by about 2 seconds. Both runners not having that great Vengeful Spirit splits, but I think they'll take it at this tournament setting.
Yeah. Yeah, you may recognize Aksel as the runner-up from the 1-2-2-1 any% tournament that just finished up before this. And one thing I have commented on many times, calming his races, is just his consistency. He might make a small mistake or two, but he doesn't make the big mistakes, and he doesn't let things pile up, which is very impressive.
It'll be interesting to see how Aksel approaches a lot of things coming in for... Oh, also, inventory drop for both runners. Really quickly, that's a 1/50th of a frame input, and that one in particular saves essentially 0 time, so it's quite impressive to see both of our runners going for that, especially like with the nerves built up from a tournament race. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Aksel approaches a lot of things differently. Serpin is our home like LP runner. She's been running LP since I want to say at least like 2018. And Aksel apparently is a 1-2-2-1 gamer, so
yes,
it'll be interesting to see how their strats differ. And a very clean turnaround fireball there by Aksel. You don't usually see that on any percent LP because you don't have soul for it usually.
that's correct. The only reason that he did that time is because he got not only a first spit from the second Balder, but then he got another Balder spit immediately afterwards, which you can take the soul from that and use for the fireball skip. Clean first fireball skip from Aksel. And from Serp. Aksel wishing he had a bit more soul right now for this fireball skip. I'll slow him down a bit, but he does get it. And Serp getting it right away without having to slow down at all. Like, if you're Serp, this green path has to feel pretty good so far.
No Moss Knight double from Aksel. And
Or from
Serp went
Serp.
for a task setup with the pogo. You don't usually see runners doing that, so. Also missing it though. With both setups, you have to wait for the Moss Knight to have like a period of time passes before the Moss Knight's AI allows it to jump back, which is it's kind of tight, but usually we don't see our runners missing it.
Clean Vengefly Kings from both runners. Serp, not that much health or soul going into Hornet. Should be fine, but I would definitely be nervous in this situation.
Your HP is probably fine. Hornet, not that dangerous of a boss after a bit of practice. Clean fights from both runners.
Yeah.
But Aksel's gonna get a 803 and Serp's gonna get an 805. So 2-second difference.
Yeah, both with very clean Hornets. Serp going for the inventory drop on the dash. That is... I'm not sure if that's even tighter, or if that's just... the timing is different, but that's... I personally find it a lot more difficult.
Aksel also up. Oh, both winners opting to go up on the top path, which, as far as I know, that's more of a 1-2-2-1 only strategy because you don't really need that extra soul collection unless you're doing a 3 fireball Epogo.
Yeah. I think if you're doing 2 fireball, it's also faster to go.
No, it's not. You can get 2 soul off of this Sporg right here.
For 2 fireballs?
Yes. You can hit that Sporg twice. Aksel missing the fireball both times.
Yeah. Serp getting it first try. That's going to... Yeah, Aksel's just gonna have to do the Mantis Safari. That's...
not good.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt.
I think both times Aksel was either too far left or one of the times dashed too early into the wall, but then the other 2 times was too far left and lured the Sporg a little bit too close to the wall, had it bounce off. It's gonna be about I think 20-second time loss for Aksel just from taking the reroute, but then another 20 from missing all those attempts.
Yeah.
A pretty huge loss here. But nothing impossible to come back from. We still have a lot of boss fights and a ton of movement that Aksel can catch up on.
Absolutely.
Plus, while I would never wish upon it, maybe a death too from Serpent's side.
Yeah, we don't want to see that. We've seen Aksel... Remember, Aksel is about 5 seconds behind in Crossroads coming out of the Aspen Arena room. And by... just through False Night, had cut off, I believe, 3 seconds of that just for movement.
Yeah, and then caught back up in Green Path too.
Yeah, so this movement is very, very clean.
Serpent, is she on 5 soul?
Yeah, looks like it.
It's gonna be a bit of an awkward progress with a cleanup. Remember, you want to end with 6 soul after this fight so you can shoot 2 fireballs at the babies, but shooting 1 fireball is fine, it just makes it a little difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see if either runner has been studying the 4MS. Yeah, Noodles, I suppose you're right. That kind of is my fault. Although in my defense, Mantis Bogo is different if you're not coming in from the top. Serp accidentally iframing through one of those enemies. Serp just finishing up the crossing of Blue Lake, everyone's favorite split in this category.
I don't get it. What's the joke? It is my favorite split. No, I'm kidding.
Yes,
Clean
unlike
shape
in
from
1.2.2.1, where you can use walkling storage and just go across the entire lake, you can't do that on latest patch.
You technically still can get walking storage, it just does absolutely nothing.
Plus, I believe it's considered a major glitch on latest patch rule set.
Yeah, it is. Surf gonna go for Dream Dash. She does.
Hitting it.
Oh!
And oh, that's...
Hit the Dream Dash. At least we're gonna see it a second time. So what you're gonna see her do is essentially jump and dash before the platform has even appeared, and jump off of it while it is still coming up. It's very clean. Very clean second try.
2 for 2 on that Dream Dash is very, very impressive.
But that is one of the worst places to fall, since you have to wait for the seer or the moth to fully appear again. Anywhere else, you would just respawn on the platform.
Yeah, with the platforms already in front of you.
Right. Clean Dream Dash from Aksel as well.
Yeah, that's the sort of movement that Aksel is definitely able to exploit to come back. Serp getting seer skip meanwhile.
Dashing a little bit too early. But I want to say that saves Aksel around 15 seconds. Maybe even a bit more.
I don't think it saves that much.
Because it's the first set. I feel like...
I definitely think it's at least 10, though.
Right.
Aksel also hitting seer skip.
And Serp taking 1 damage entering city, being a little dangerous, seeing as Serp chooses not to go for King Station Seal. There'll be no bench for the next 2 minutes, or 2 minutes or so, and it's a sort of dangerous section since you have a lot of enemies followed by Watcher Knights right after.
Yes, you can take the bench Inspire for safety.
And then also terrible pattern from the Husks here, getting a backdash, which is, you never want to see a backdash in that room.
Yeah, that was just rude.
Aksel getting a much nicer pattern.
Yeah. Serp fumbling a little bit with the movement on the way to Gorgeous Husk. It's like a lot of these time losses for Serp are 1 or 2 seconds, just slightly not optimal movement. But there are a lot of them and they add up.
Especially with the damage tanks here.
Yeah. Serp going for left side and not getting it, that's unfortunate.
Take the bench, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
At that point, the bench also resets the Great Husk Sentry cycle, which is a lot nicer to play with after not being able to get the climb properly. Axel also down to 2 HP. Gonna also take a bench.
Very wise, as a single hit from the Great Husk Sentry will kill you if you're on 2 HP.
Mm-hmm. And Axel's going for a much more difficult, but also a much more faster Great Husk Sentry fight. You can just see the difference in the speeds.
Axel's back down to 2 HP, though. And not taking the bench. Which, I can't blame him.
I think that at that point, if you really wanted to heal to 5, the correct play would be to hit the lever and then instantly save quit. Back to the bench. Maybe. I'm actually not too sure. Of course, the gamer strat would be if Aksel were to do Watcher Knights on 3 HP.
Let's see how Watchers behave for our runners today.
Serpent had a pretty rude first night. Second are not safe as well.
Yeah, second...
Down to 1 HP.
Yeah. And that's a death. That's really unfortunate. On the plus side for Serps, you did get that bench. So it's not incredibly catastrophic.
Axel's having a somewhat of a better fight. The Knights are semi-sync. Also getting much more nail swings, nail attacks.
Yeah, and not taking damage really at all. Yes, chat bringing up the point that Watcher's death, well, it was a Watcher's death, it was early in the fight, so it could have been a significantly worse time loss than it was. Aksel, meanwhile, finishing off Watchers.
Looks like the refight is going much better.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like that, Serp, please. Please! You're scaring me, Serp!
It's okay. One more fireball should be it. One more nail swing cycle. Okay.
Okay.
And we're through. But yeah, with that, Axel has taken the lead. So, as you were saying, it is very easy for there to just be huge time losses with all these boss fights and movements, where the small mistakes taking damage build up extremely quickly.
Yeah.
I think Axel there is nail slashing in a bit of frustration, missing the inventory drop, I think 3 times.
Yeah, that's definitely not fun. But both runners still very much in this.
Right. Especially coming up to the next section, Rafter Skip. Normally the city exit after Watcher Knights is extremely consistent if you do the King Station route. But with adding in Rafters, there's an extremely difficult trick called Rafter Skip, where you use a Vengefly and pogo off of it with some fireballs and damage tanks to get up to a position really high that you normally have to just go all the way around for. It lets you pick up the Rafter seal. but it is also up to the Vengefly cooperating with nice RNG, and then also a lot of tight execution. And
Oh, Aksel almost had it, but slightly late dash. Getting the left side back up, though. Down to 1 HP from all the damage tanks, though, and that's a smart heal from Aksel.
Thank you,
You
Aksel.
really don't want to die here.
Right, and he also chose to go a long way around up to this rafter instead of immediately trying to pogo off of an enemy. It was also a good decision in a tournament setting. Down to 1 HP again, but the rest of the split is, after this point, very simple, very consistent, and you do take a bench in Dirtmouth as soon as you stack back.
Yeah. I still probably heal here, though, because, again, I really don't want to risk dying, but doesn't look like what Aksel is doing.
Let's see how Serpent's Raptor skip goes. Also a right side attempt.
And Serp
the
getting it.
The exact same setup, and she gets it. Nice. So once again, we got that back and forth time saves.
Absolutely gorgeous. That wall jump to the left could have been bad. Also, Aksel getting it. The impossible jump, so-called, because it is definitely impossible, as shown there.
And what you're seeing Aksel do right now is Fireball Dispel from the left side and immediately exit the room to allow the stag to come up in transition, because these timers are in loadless time. So in real time, that trick does save is slower, but in terms of manipulating the live splits timer, it is faster.
And Aksel, I'm sure glad to be back at 5 HP.
Right.
Serp also getting impossible jump, and missing one of the jumps afterwards, which unfortunate, but doesn't lose that much time.
Maybe it's time we change that name. Impossible jump? Really, it's not so hard.
Yeah, infected Vengefly room after Crossroads Stag. One of the most annoying rooms in this run, honestly.
Yeah, I did think Serp said that it was their least favorite room in the entire game, I think.
I think both did.
Both? Okay.
Alright. Time for Pogax. Aksel getting it. First try. Very nice. Pogax on latest patch is more difficult than it is on 1.2.2.1 because the Husk Miners pattern is just different. But if you get... Oh, and I think that was God Pixel from Aksel?
God Cycle.
God Cycle?
Yeah.
Serp. Okay, and healing while this gate is going down. Very smart. Yeah, Aksel missing the inventory drop. Not happy about that. Alright, Serp's turn for Pogax. And yeah, just bailing after getting bad RNG from the Husk Miner. Nice underplat from Aksel. and it's time to head towards everyone's favorite boss in any percent. And by everyone's, I probably mean no one's.
I'm sure there's one or two Umu enjoyers out there, but it might be more of a Stockholm syndrome kind of deal.
Quite possibly. Serp doing the damage tank cycle. And still going for underplat and getting it.
It'll be interesting to see how Aksel does approaches Umu as our resident 1221 runner. Down to 2 HP, also a little bit rough. It's gonna take a heal. Umu on LP is a bit awkward because we damage tank it a lot, depending on how our patterns work out. The laser hitbox appears much faster than it does on 1221, which means on 1221 you can just dreamnail it 3 times no problem, but on LP can't do the same if you use damage tanks. Looks like Aksel's not going to go for the 2 cycle. You need full soul for both the cycles, and down to 3 soul, opting the heal instead.
Yeah, that's probably due to the health situation and just wanting to play this safe.
I wonder if he's watching the stream, if he knows that he's in like a comfortably ahead position.
I know Aksel at a minimum has chat up. See Serp down to 2 HP going into archives. See whether she takes the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I do want to note that Aksel is taking these Umu cycles from the middle platform, which is the 1-2-2-1 strategy, not the current patch strategy. So it is pretty cool to see 1-2-2-1 strats adapted. Was that the extra? That might have been an extra attack.
Yeah, I believe that was an extra from Aksel.
And no 3 cycle.
Aksel down to 1 HP meanwhile.
Also with Umu in a terrible position, down in that bottom left corner. That's where you want Umu to end up, not be.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a slick way to avoid the acid. Meanwhile, Serp
going for the 2 cycle. Gets a first cycle. 160 damage. Now just looking for another 140 on the second cycle.
Yeah.
And there's the damage tank we talked about earlier.
Also Serp getting Decal Knight. So that is 3 extras out of 3 possible extras we've seen. Umu just not playing nice.
And no 2 cycle. God damn Umu. Not cooperating today.
Umu is just being absolutely rude.
It is an easy 3 cycle for Serp. And
yeah.
Also quite a bit of time save, about 20 seconds for every cycle.
Even more because I think because of the extra, I believe.
Did Aksel get 2 extras?
I believe Aksel got 2 extras, yes.
Damn. Come on, Umu.
So it looks like Serp is actually a bit ahead on Geo compared to Aksel right now, 220 to 208.
When did that happen? Since Aksel was ahead in early game. But
Not 100% sure when it happened, but I think it might have happened with Baldur's potentially.
maybe. With that extra geo though, it's not going to be very consequential. Both runners are well above 200, and as Masochist said earlier, the Devouts drop 43, so even if they do a Devout skip, they're both well over the required amount to buy our final geo threshold of 250.
Yes, even with
A Devout skip.
even with a Devout skip, you still need to kill a Devout. So, even if Aksel gets literally no geo on the way to Beast Den, he'll still have enough.
Ooh, lucky essence from Serb. Does absolutely nothing, but
Aksel,
also,
meanwhile, bit of a sloppy Petra Arena.
It is, once again, this is another one of the differences between 1.2.2.1 and latest patch that Aksel might struggle with, since for some reason Team Trey decided to give these godforsaken enemies one extra 5 HP, which is exactly one nail hit, and it just so happens that that nail hit completely screws over exactly how we'd kill them normally. On Serp's side, Serp did take a bench in the archives, and maybe it's paying off, down to 2 HP, but hopefully we see it here. 1 HP.
Yeah, unfortunate death, but that's Serp knowing weaknesses and taking that bench so you don't lose a ton of time.
But at that point, it is faster to go down through fungal wastes and just completely sack QGA. The time save being about 20 to 30 seconds, depending on how you play the reroute and whether or not you grab Sport Room. So,
and naturally first strike QGA.
Not sure if I'd be upset or happy at that point that I got it first try or that it took a whole death to get there.
I would just be annoyed.
Right.
Always first try the second time around.
Also not having a nice Petra Arena.
Yeah.
Looks like both runners went for a left side Petra Arena, which it is technically faster, but also much more difficult to play if you don't properly get in position.
I think both runners actually do right side, but messed up at first.
I see, that makes sense. Because if you're not comfortable with playing left side, it can be very terrible.
Aksel with a Beast Den quit out.
Nice. Showing off new tech. Because you do the Devout skip, you don't actually need full soul to kill it, and you can take a quit out to heal up to full, and then simply just do the damage tank skip. Nice. Clean skip.
My guess is that Serp probably does a Den quit out as well.
On 1 HP, definitely.
Serp, please. Yeah.
And a bit of old movement from Serp there, dashing to the left onto Maskmaker's hut to corner boost, or float boost. That's a strat that 90% runners, or on current patch runners, did way back years ago. Since it was a replacement for the no inventory drop that 1.2.2.1 does. It was discovered that slow boost is not actually faster, but it's nice to see Serp bring back some old strats.
Still making sure to have enough Geo this time. Also, did Aksel save the grub? I approve.
I do not approve. That's that 0.2 seconds. 0.1 seconds. I thought Aksel was the consistent runner. You never saved the grub. Axel, where's your C dash?
Yeah, Serp also with that Denquit out. Aksel was short on Geo in his last race. Got it, yeah.
Axel.
Oh, and Serp not getting the devout skip.
Ooh. Luckily, you can just quit out and try again, but it is quite a bit of time loss.
Most definitely. And he's definitely confused about that. This devout is just not wanting to cooperate.
Right. Serp actually got what some would consider a lucky pattern where the devout backs up and you don't actually need to do any fancy damage tanks to get over it. But it can really screw over the runner if they're like already set on doing a purposeful damage tank setup.
Yes.
And another set of bad RNG, but
Okay.
Serp makes it. Normally you don't want the devout to open up on its own. You want to hit it to cause it to open up, which just lines up with your dash better. But Serp manages to save the trick regardless. So very good on quick reactions.
Meanwhile, Aksel breaking with chains for THK.
So once again, another difference from 1-2-2-1 and
Also, Serp.
base patch.
Serp also saving the grub, by the way. Very much approved.
Moral players. But yeah, as I was saying, THK does move a lot faster on latest patch, but as you'll see from Aksel's fight, it ends up not making a difference in how the runners fight it, as he has no trouble making quick work of THK.
Yeah, the other big difference with THK is that his pillar attack here, those pillars do 2 damage instead of just 1. But you're not going to want to get hit by those regardless.
Right. You can do a purposeful damage tank into THK's like body to dodge it if you ever get some unavoidable pattern, but it rarely happens. Also, Masochist, did you just summon 2 pillar attacks with your commentary powers?
Maybe.
Okay.
And Aksel getting a fountain attack. Really like to see that.
Yeah, there's a sweet spot on the left side that you can just stand on, and THK will pretty much never hit you. And also, a very clean scream skip. The fight's gonna end really quickly. Never mind. I thought with the fountain attack we would see a mid-scream kill, but maybe not. That's gonna be a 37-23 from Aksel, a very clean time. Also,
yeah.
Above Serpin's PB. So huge GG's to Aksel. Meanwhile, Serp showing off a very cool trick that Aksel kind of fumbled, I think, with the 1-2-2-1 muscle memory, of C-dashing to hit the bell on the way out, to once again load the stag while the timers pause.
Alright, and Serp entering THK right now. All in all, apart from Umu and that claw split, being run from Aksel.
Ooh, a nice double on the backdash.
Yeah.
It is a reactable punish. I'm not sure if Surf was going for it, but really cool if she was. And overall, this fight is going really well. Only one damage peak so far, and it's going to be pretty much inconsequential coming into the second stream. If she chooses to heal it off, as she will, it basically means nothing. As THK stabs itself, all damage is reduced to 1, so you can take all your time to heal.
That's also why runners will not use spells
Right.
in that phase, because it just deals 1 damage anyway.
Very nice punish on the bounce attack.
Yeah. And not quite getting the scream skip.
But this should be smooth sailing from here down to the last phase. There's only 3 things that THK can do, either that bounce, a limp nail swing, or a sub-stab. That'll be
GG. Sure.
That'll be a 37-23 for Aksel and a 40-06 for Serps. So Aksel does win this race, qualifies a position in the top 16 single elimination bracket. Serp not out of the races yet. Still has one last race where she is 1-1. If she wins that race, she will also qualify, and if she loses, let's not hope that happens. Overall, Serp did play a really good race, especially with the death, managing to get a really clean recovery with the first try QGA, first try retry, and then also with the Watcher Knights having a clean fight afterwards. So overall, Serp played really well compared to her PB, and I'm sure she's very close to a PB. I'm pretty sure that PB is from way back when, and Serp kind of is just an all-round jack of all trades runner. So
All right. Welcome, runners. GG's.
Hey, wait, hi.
And chat immediately proving Callie wrong and saying that Serp's PB was from today.
oh, my bad.
Oh. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, I can hear you.
Thank you, Aksel. So chat, if you have any questions for either of our runners, feel free to leave them down and we'll get them asked right away. But immediately, I do have a question. Were either of you going for the left side Petra Arena?
I would have if I didn't fuck up everything.
Okay.
Language.
Are we allowed to curse on this channel?
No.
Probably not.
Hello.
Excellent. Hello.
Hello.
I would have gone for left side if I didn't like fall down and basically have to salvage whatever I could. from the first
Gotcha.
one.
Yeah, both runners had a rough Petra Arena.
Stopping our C dash is literally impossible.
Axel, how was your run? Did you try to learn a lot of LP strategies? Oh, and Axel is gone.
Axel, I miss you.
Okay.
Okay,
Axel, welcome back.
All right, let's ask that question again, shall we?
Sorry.
So Axel, I was gonna ask, what was your game plan going in adapting 1-2-2-1 strategies into this run, or like were you trying to learn all the LP strats? Like how did that work out?
Yeah, I look all the comps of in LP. I see what was different between both versions. So I
Did you have
learned
any-
the LP strats.
Nice. Did you have any like troubles with learning them, or like 1-2-2-1 muscle memory?
Uh, Not so much. Like the most difficult was the little things, like the RNG spawns of the enemies,
Right.
or like if you hit the elevator, it gives you knockback. It's the small things that mess up my brain.
Yeah, that's fair. The just the little things are sometimes will just throw you off because you don't necessarily notice them when you're watching back replays, and then you realize, oh wait, this is a thing that I actually need to keep in mind.
Yeah, and infected bench flight room. It's
Yes.
so bad in this patch, but
Honestly, just like the biggest thing is basically just like all the small things, like enemies spawning in a set position, but it's never a nice position, so they never wander quite like they do in 131. Especially Jennifer before False Night is very mean when you're not used to it, when you're not used to them.
Yeah.
Also, why does every single attack Umu does like start a full second earlier than in
yeah,
131?
yeah, that's a big one.
I think I don't know if either of you had the stream open, but both of you or Axel, I think you had 2 extras, and then Serp, you also had an extra. So both of you
Oh my
having
God.
pretty rough Umu fights.
Yes. Every single Umu cycle that could have had an extra had an extra.
I love me some Umu. At least I didn't die, honestly, which is already a win. Like,
Yeah. Also, Axel, nice way to recover from that claw split, which
Oh,
that's rough missing
yeah.
Epogo 3 times.
Mm-hmm. But it's okay.
it's just like half a minute.
Yeah.
Nothing big.
Yeah, one thing I like to say with comms is that early game time loss tends to more so be about your mental state rather than the actual time loss itself. And like the runners in this tournament have just done a very good job of forgetting about those mistakes as soon as they happen. Just like, okay, move on to the next part.
Also, can someone please teach me the rolling opener on Watcher Knight's first pair? Thanks. Like,
You pogo or you so it's the right side watcher that rolls.
Yeah.
So you jump over the left one, and then you fireball to the left. So you get a quadruple hit, or sometimes a triple hit. It's pretty tight.
I hate it on latest patch just because of how slowly the second one actually spawns in. It's like I feel like
insane.
almost every time I try to do it, I hit the freeze frames, and then the freeze frames make me like fall off, and then just like I can't hit the jump button in time.
Oh,
So then I
is the
get hit
timing
by
not
the
the
next
same?
attack, and I don't know. I think it's the same with timing. Probably I'm just bad at the fight.
Oh, and then also, sir, what were your thoughts, or like, what were you feeling after you nailed the QGA after the death?
Honestly, not much. It's like my hands were just kind of like cold, cramping up almost. So that's basically why I missed it the first time, anyways. It's like I wasn't really expecting much else. I blame it being late or something. Yeah. But no, it was fine. Could have been worse.
Most definitely, especially since you took that bench before QGA.
Gee. I was considering not taking it.
Well, it was a good thing you took it then.
Yep.
Well, if we have no more questions from chat, then I think that'll be it.
Yeah.
So GG's
Kelly?
to both our runners.
Yep, GG.
Kelly, did
GG's.
you mention something about the entering deep nest
Oh,
strat.
oh, right. So you dash left onto Massmaker's hut, right?
Yeah.
That brings back so many. That's like a 2020 strat.
Mm.
It's
I thought
faster to
Kuro
just
still did
fall.
it.
Who?
I thought Kuro still did it.
Then Kuro's slow.
I mean, that does sound like Kuro.
It's faster to just fall, or you can dash right and hit a ceiling boost on the right side. But dashing left onto Massmaker's hut is never faster.
But it's cooler.
It is very cool.
After all, that's like half of what speedrunning's about, right? Is just looking cool.
Because it also lines you up with a down slash onto that plank, which is also much easier than trying to slash it from the right side.
Yeah. Which is something I struggle way more with than I really should, but yeah.
Alright. So if we have nothing else, we have the next round of our rando tourney in just under half an hour. And the next any percent round robin race will be tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, which is in 14 hours. So hopefully we will see you all then.
Yeah. Once again, GG's to both our runners. Thank you, Masochist, for being my co-com today. It was nice commentating with you.
Yeah, it's always a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the comms, thank you for the restreams. Oh, that reminds me.